Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a member of the T&I broader committee, but not a member of this subcommittee, I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning. Thank you for allowing me to do that. I specifically want to highlight an issue that is important in the district that I represent in Pennsylvania, in the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Mr. Ellig, this was brought up earlier by Mr. Gibbs, and I appreciate it as well, your testimony in regards to some of the problems with our regulatory process, which produces undesirable results at times. And specifically for our community, the interpretation of the EPA in regards to WOTUS, the Waters of the U.S., and the extension of what is considered Waters of the U.S. is a major problem. This was also briefly mentioned by Mr. Kernion. I was a contractor as well, and so understand the impact on development projects of interpretation of that law. But the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau President, Rick Ebert, noted after President Trump's executive order that virtually all of Pennsylvania's land mass can be claimed by EPA officials as regulated water, subjecting landowners and communities to extreme and needless federal permitting requirements and land use restrictions. These farming groups have also claimed that if they were to dig a drainage ditch on their property, it would potentially become a United States waterway under the WOTUS provisions. This is an example that I think, similar to what you were describing, of an overreach of regulation. So Mr. Ellig, just how is it, if we have a regulation like that in place, how could groups go about trying to find a better balance between the goal that we want to achieve and that overreach?
Well, I understand why this is a difficulty for development, also farmers in Lancaster County. I think we have to go back to basics and insist that our discussions of regulation be based on actual fact and investigation of whether regulations really are likely to create the intended benefits and whether they actually do, after they've been implemented, create the intended benefits. Because unfortunately, an awful lot of the debate over regulation, particularly environmental regulation, has become kind of a holy war where everybody argues over on the basis of their intentions rather than what actually happens as a result of the regulation. So I'd say first things first, let's get back to factual investigation of what the actual likely results and the actual
Thank you, and completely agree. One of the other points you made, which I thought was very good, you said regulatory agents often act as if enforcement is more important than compliance or achievement of regulatory outcomes. And just recently, farmers in the Chesapeake Bay watershed did a voluntary study and highlighted some of the actions that have already been taken for which they're not recognized. So, for instance, 475,800 acres of nutrient manure management, 97,562 acres of enhanced nutrient management, 2,164 animal waste storage units, 2,106 barnyard runoff control systems. You can go on. And the point I want to make is what farmers in my area want to see is more collaboration and less enforcement. Why can we not see that occurring by some of our agencies?
Well, you would get that if agencies were rewarded and individual agencies were rewarded for actually achieving results rather than for achieving outputs or activities that are measurable that may or may not produce results.
And again, the additional point to make is farmers, builders, contractors, the municipalities in my area want to see clean water. They all enjoy clean waters on their farms. They want the Chesapeake to be clean. But again, they want to see more of that collaboration, which I think is sorely missing. So, I appreciate your comments. I know we have taken the first step in this regard with the President's executive order, and I know that this is of concern to the chairman of this subcommittee as well, and I look forward to us continuing to work on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.